I'll introduce you. Welcome.
Yep.
No question.
All right.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Morehead State Football Media Day. Appreciate you attending today. We've got all media members. We're going to start with Coach Jason Woodman, second year. And Coach, make a quick statement, and then we'll go for questions.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. First off, I got to give a thank you to our administration within our department, Ken Bree, Matt, and our AD, Kelly Wells. Just such a good feeling as a head coach to have the support and kind of program outlook that I know as players and coaches feel like we're very in line with each other, and it's been a good situation for us since we've been here. Heading into year two, we're excited again. It's kind of the second time around, so all the newness that was there and all the unknown that was there last year, obviously, we're looking forward to kind of having our second time around with a lot of the teams in our conference and within our locker room as well. I think overall as a team, we lost a lot of production. If you look just at production itself, we lost some of our top tacklers, some of our top production guys on offense, but we bring back a really good nucleus of players that we know have played a lot of football and I think are as excited as we are to get on the field and get back at it. Fall camp's been really good. We were able to get a lot of the guys in July. I thought it was a really good experience, a good way to kind of get our freshmen and the new guys up to speed. And then obviously fall camp has been tremendous. I think the guys have worked extremely hard. The dedication within the locker room has been probably the best I've ever seen on any of my teams. And I think a lot of that comes back to the seniors that we have and the leadership that they've been able to kind of show to the young guys. And I think we're all really, really excited just to get this thing rolling. My staff's been tremendous. We brought a large majority of them back for the second year. And so the continuity there has been really, really good. And, like I said, we're just really excited to get this thing started and looking forward to August 30th.
You're a media member. If you could, it's the first time you ask a question, just introduce yourself and the organization. And then, go ahead. You can take it up. Go ahead.
Doug Morales, Eagles Sports Network. Coach, if you look ahead to this year, not that far out from that first game, what are the question marks still in your mind?
I think, when the lights come on with some of the new guys, I think, it's not necessarily a question. We feel confident in them, but to put them in a game situation, kind of unscripted situations, just being able to play and respond the way that you ask them to do in practice, is it different or is it not in game day? I think that's always kind of in your mind. For us, too, like I said, with losing so much production, we're putting other guys in positions to make plays that guys in the past had made. So I think that's really our only question mark right now is, are the guys going to step up and do what we think they can do when it counts? But as far as personnel-wise across the board, I think there's a couple positions that we know we need to stay healthy at, and we can get through the next 2 weeks of practice and leading into August 30th with a full roster and all the ammunition we need. Then we're going to feel real good.
David Patrick, Morehead State Athletics. Coach, how is this season different from last? Because obviously the last season was kind of the great unknown going in, but now with the year under your belt, have you found yourself much more I don't want to say a comfort zone, but feeling much better about your team?
I think the biggest the biggest thing is that the players knew what to expect. I think that was, that's a big key. It was hard at first, or it was a goal of ours at first to kind of instill that expectation of what the coaches want. And this year is so much different than last because now the players are on the same page and they're doing all the leadership with the young guys, and they're teaching the new guys what we expect. And I think that's been the biggest change, and it's been great, obviously for us as a staff. But I think, again, last year with our staff too, we had Will Trulove came as a defensive coordinator at the end of July. So we were still trying to figure each other out throughout the season. And I think that's been another, big thing that helped us throughout the summer.
Coach Keith Farmer, Elliott's 18. What's it like to now know what the conference is like? I mean, there had to be some kind of learning curve for you there a little bit.
Yeah, parity in our conference is great. I mean, you got to play your best ball every week, or you're going to have a long day. So heading into that, and also through the recruiting process, knowing what you're recruiting against or what you need to be successful within your conference, that was a big deal for us too. After that first year, we had an idea going in, but then after you actually see the other guys in person and you kind of recruit against them, kind of knowing what you need is a little bit easier. But other than you hope that the style of play with certain teams are going to be similar. Coaches change, and there's going to be things that are here and there maybe a little different, but you still kind of understand the makeup of those programs and what their what I think what their philosophy as a staff is, and what you kind of expect out of them when you do play them.
Moving on with WKYT, what would you say this team does really well?
I think this team is a very tough team. I think they're mentally tough. I think they're physically tough. I think that we put them in tough situations through practice. They responded really, really well, and not just the physical side, but also the mental side. And I think we are really our team is a very what's the word I'm looking for? We're just really tight and on a different level than we have been. I think that this camp we've seen a lot of competition. We've seen a lot of we were getting after each other. There was a lot of competition. Some heated practices. And at the end of fall camp yesterday, I felt like we were just one big group finally coming together as a family. And I thought that that's probably, I think that's a really good thing that our team does is the relationships off the field and then on the field, expecting each other, competing with each other. But at the end of the day, they want each other to be there for each other. There's a lot of each other there.
Going off of that, you return a lot of key guys in this transfer portal era. How big is that?
It's huge. You have to do it because the way kids are able to move and go all over, you have to do it to kind of keep up to speed. But we felt like we kept a large group of our players that we needed to have a core, and we were able to be very selective in who we recruited throughout the portal process. We did a really good job of recruiting high school athletes, and we're going to continue to do that. I feel like that's how you're going to build your program from top to bottom. But we kind of went into the process as we're gonna find the guys that we need in the portal. We weren't going to go recruit the whole team. We were going to find certain positions that we knew we needed depth or that we needed some guys at, and we were going to go after that. I thought that again our staff did a great job with that, evaluating them, getting them here, and we've been pleased with all the guys that we got out of the portal. And I think that's that's tricky nowadays too. If you just never know until you get them here. You can call coaches and call players, and you have an idea, but until they get here, you're not sure. I think our guys are really good character guys.
Have you started game planning for the first game yet, or does that come next week?
I think you always go into fall camp with an idea of who you're playing. I mean, I think it's common sense that if you're going to go play a spread team, you better, or a hurry up team, you better practice tempo throughout fall camp. So I think as a base, I'm sure in the back of our minds we have, but honestly, we've talked so much about getting better every single day. And when August 30th comes, the days that we've stacked up to that, then it'll kind of matter. But right now we're still in our install period. We still have 3 days of install and situational football that we have to cover. So we're confident in our process once we get into game week, and we know we're just not quite there yet.
So I asked that because it's like, you're in this week where it's like you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
How do you keep it fresh and keep it from, they've been hitting each other so long?
Yeah, I think you have to structure practice different. The 3-hour practices that we were going through probably need to cut back. You need to, again, attack different situations that are new or unfamiliar to the guys, putting them in different scenarios, and we'll probably mix 1s, 2s, 3s rep wise to kind of get a different mix of people on the field at the same time. There's just little things you can do, but now, like I said, we're going through the install part, but school's also started. Today was the first day of classes, so you always got to keep that in mind too. And those 3-hour practices, the first week of class, probably not going to be real productive, knowing they're getting up out of bed and worrying about getting teachers to sign papers and all the craziness that goes with that. So I think just time management wise and the specifics of how you make up practice, that's probably the biggest thing.
Have you tweaked at all the playbooks, what you're doing? Is it just a matter of doing what you did last year a little bit better, or you maybe added some things in there?
Yeah, we're going triple option wishbone just for you, Chuck. And everybody has a double number, just for you. No, I think you have to build your game plan or your playbook on the personnel that you have, and being able to recruit certain guys to get them for certain situations is one thing, but I think you have to be able to adapt, be able to kind of stay up with the times and do the things that you have to do to be competitive week in, week out. And a lot of that depends on what your guys can and can't do. So we're always going to tweak things and change some stuff here or there based on our personnel. But we haven't changed the entire new playbook or anything crazy like that.
Coach, when you take the field for the first time this season out there, you're going to be playing Phil Simms Stadium.
Yeah.
Talk about how special that's going to be.
Oh, it's it was a real treat to get to meet Phil this summer, hang out with him a lot. He came and worked with my son for 3 or 4 days, which I don't even think my son realizes how crazy and cool that really is, But I had all my friends back in West Virginia text me, "Hey man, can you get Phil's autograph?" I'm like, "Relax, he'll be here again," But just to be in the same conversation with a guy like that. I don't even think our players realize how much that guy was able to accomplish and what he meant to the school. And as far as the person that he is, I think we've developed a really good relationship, and the phone calls and the talks that we've had have been tremendous. So we just hope we can go out there and represent him and the rest of the university to make them all proud of what we can put on the field and represent him on that day too.
Talk about what he means to the Morehead State football.
Well, I think you guys probably know more than I do because, you guys have been here longer. But when this job came open, the first thing I knew was Phil Simms came here, or went or played here. So I think as a program, I think that speaks volumes on the football team alone. And then, I think that the recognition that he's brought to the institution in general because of that is huge as well.
Tom Lewis, Eagle Sports Network, talking about quarterbacks for you coming into year 2. Talk about having stability at quarterback and not just a returning quarterback, but a returning all-conference preseason quarterback.
Yeah, Carter Cravens comes back, again as a starter, and we've had a pretty good competition through fall. Him and Bryce Patterson have gone back and forth a good bit, and I think they push each other. They have a good relationship off the field, which on the field, it's a little bit different when your best friend's trying to get your job, and I think those two have handled it really, really well, and they continue to push each other. So at that position, like you said, we're bringing back some experience. Bryce has started and played in games as well. So those two at the top are, experienced and we feel comfortable about. But we have 4 other guys. David Parsons is a redshirt freshman this year who we brought in last year, who we feel confident in. And, the 3 other guys want us to transfer and 2 other true freshmen. That room is 6 deep right now, which is a good problem for us. It saved arms in camp, but I've seen them all improve. And heading into that's probably one of the few positions that we feel pretty comfortable with.
On the other side, offensively, only averaged 76 yards a game rushing last year.
Yep.
You feel like that's an area where you're going to see some improvement this year?
Well, we hope so. That's been a big key, throughout the spring and through the summer. I thought our offensive line as a whole made huge leaps and gains in the spring, and those guys have become, one of the groups that I feel like are leaders of our offense now. Last year we started 3 true freshmen, so just by fault they're going to have more experience, they're going to be more confident, and those guys have really just gelled, and Coach Everhart's done a great job with those guys. I think the maturity level in that room is much higher than it had been. And we know that's a key. We always say you got to run the ball to win and stop the run to win. So that was a big point of emphasis. Again, I think you talk about, we probably lost our top 2 productive backs. So now you have Isaac Stopke coming back and a couple other guys who have a little bit of carries, but nothing crazy. So, we're hoping that we can get some of those young guys rolling early in the backfield, and obviously it starts with the guys up front. Round
I think we're good, Coach, yeah.
Good.
Is there a mantra or like a goal or anything that you guys are leaning on this season? If there's not, it's okay.
I don't know. I think we're pretty locked in on just getting better every day right now. I don't know if we have a certain motto just yet. I think that kind of comes with time. And I know there'll probably be something I say in the locker room or something the guys come and tell me, and it'll just kind of catch and roll. But right now, we really don't have anything specific. Good? All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, these are our defensive leaders this year. Here we have Ricky Spencer, who's new to the program, Paul O'Brien, and Luke Bauer are both been here a couple of years now. So I'll just kind of started with, I'll go with Paul. What are you looking forward to most here in year 2 with Coach Woodman and staff?
What I'm looking forward to most is just winning more games, which I think we're going to do a lot of this year. So I'm excited to play with these boys over here. We have a great team, super close team, and I love all my teammates. So.
Paul, I'll start with this. You other guys can chime in too if you want. I know that he talked about Coach Trulo coming in late July last year, trying to install the defense and work through that, through the season. Now you've had a full year with him. How much of a difference does that make going into year 2?
Well, yeah, like you said, came in July. We're kind of playing catch up for the season last year, but having a spring now with Coach Truelove, getting to know him as a coach as well. I think it's going to really show on the football field on Saturdays. We're going to look cleaner, better tackling team, more sharp, and you're going to see that on Saturdays. It's going to look good. So.
I'll ask Luke the same question.
Yeah, I agree with everything Paul said. When you get a late addition to the staff, there's a lot of catch up that you have to do. But I think we're confident in our guys' ability to understand scheme and concepts at a high level and very quickly. And what I love the most about Coach Truelove is that he instills a good culture and high expectations for our guys. He doesn't insult us with low expectations. So we did a good job of responding to it last year, and now we've had more time to progress, get closer, know each other on a personal level, which pays dividends further in the season.
On the same one.
Coach Truelove, he was my former DC at Birmingham Southern College. I was with him for 2 years. He is a great philosopher and play calling, and he's an aggressive play caller. He is really changing the culture in our defense and really is instilling us being the best version of ourselves. That is the main motto for us. We're chasing perfection. We know that perfection, it's hard to be perfect, but that's what we're striving for. That's what we want as a defense. And I feel like we have the great guys, we have the great coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff to be great.
You guys come out last year, maybe people didn't know what to expect year 1 under a new head coach, win 7 games. Do you feel like that put a little bit of a target on your back, put people on notice maybe?
It's wonderful to exceed expectations in the first year with the new staff, but we didn't accomplish our goal of winning a conference championship. It's nice to acknowledge that we won 7 games, made an improvement from the previous year, but the same goal every year still exists. Like, we're going to try and win every game possible, and we're going to go out there and put the best version of ourselves out there. But yeah, I think in this conference, teams can make swift jumps. Everyone pretty much recruits in the same playing field. And just in general, a lot of people play the same players. You just come out, who's going to execute better that day, but it's all good.
We coach talked about, the older guys, leaders and everything. Are you one of those, or are you seeing guys taking that lead and bringing the younger guys, the newer guys along?
I've been trying to take more of a leadership role. I'm not the most vocal person when it comes to being on the field. I kind of like to lead by example, try and do things right on and off the field. Paul has been a great addition. He's really stepped into a nice leadership role. And then having guys that were more role players last year, stepping up into full-time starting positions, just seeing them flourish in their new opportunity. They've been doing a great job. And like all the best teams are player-led. I know Coach Woodman, Coach True, they instill, certain expectations, but they pretty much leave the reins to the players. And I think we've done a good job of understanding each other and what we expect out of one another. And we want the best for everyone else. When we focus on what we have to do, everyone else can thrive in the situation that we've created.
What is the identity of this defense, would you guys say?
Well, our saying is communicate, compete, attack. Like Coach likes that one. Just communicating as a defense, making sure everybody's lined up correctly. We're all on the same page. Like if we're all wrong, we're all right. That's one of our sayings too. So, and then like Ricky also talked about this too. We're just like chasing perfection right now. We're just striving to be excellent, like every single play. Like we might not be perfect, but that's still the goal. So if we come out with that mindset every Saturday, every single play, we're gonna be a good defense. So.
Well, you mentioned earlier, good defense is tackled well, and that's as much as it is about the mentality, isn't it, as it is just the physical nature of the way you play.
For sure, yeah. I think that's actually been a huge emphasis this summer and during camp was just working on our tackling, working on mentality, being physical all the time, no matter if we're tired. Like that's what we've been doing all summer, like working through being tired, being exhausted, and still having the mental fortitude to execute. So.
Just what do you see on this defense now if you're coming in?
Well, me formerly coming from Birmingham Southern, I was in Coach Treelove's defense. I had broken 2 school records. The sack record was 11, and then the tackle for loss record was 18.5. Like I said, Coach Treelove is a great philosopher and play calling, and he's very aggressive with his play calls. But we have a great defense, and we have great former guys here and great leaders. So I'm very excited for this season and what's ready to come.
So you looked up the records here.
I'm just my job is to do the best I can for us to win games.
Good answer.
On that note, I think we're good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Switching to our offensive leadership team here. Got our returning quarterback Carter Trading, returning wide receiver Ryan Up, and returning offensive lineman Jacob Fiedler. I'll kind of start it again with Carter. Again, just looking at year 2 with this kind of, and you've been here before, even before Pittsburgh, but what are you looking forward to most here in year 2?
It's just exciting to be back for another year under Coach Woodman. Just feeling more confident with the system and the scheme, having guys that came back from last season. We're confident in those guys and also the new guys coming in. So the expectation is to be a lot better offensively this year, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Good question.
I'll ask you guys the same question I asked the defense. You kind of put the conference on notice last year, winning 7 games. Do you feel like you have a bigger target on your back maybe this year?
Kind of like what Luke said, it is great to win more games, but that's not the standard we're chasing. we have one goal. We want a conference championship, and it is good to see improvement, but we're not where we want to be yet, and we haven't finished the job yet. So
Talk about the confidence that this team has. Been on the practice field, there's a lot of confidence, there's a swagger to this team, I think. Yeah. You guys believe you're the best team in this conference. Talk about that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think a big part of having success in this game is you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your teammates. It takes all 11 being a unit and playing hard and playing together. And, I try to carry confidence with me every day at practice, and I hope it resonates with the team. And, I believe in our guys because I know we got a talented roster and a lot of good players. And I think that we're going to do a lot of special things. And I think that confidence, allows us to do that.
absolutely, we have guys out there that have played a bunch of games, played a bunch of snaps. I think that's kind of what comes with experience. You gain your confidence, you gain your swagger, being the older guys, having taken reps, and confidence is something that's infectious. You start being confident around your guys, your young guys start getting confident. That's when you get rolling. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And I've really built a lot off of these guys. They give me the swagger. We got a young O-line group. I'm really trying to bring that swagger, that confidence, and really build it within those guys in the new O-line room.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you that question, then how do you build that chemistry that's so important with the
Yeah, I mean, we're hanging out with these new freshmen every day. I mean, we have a really tight group, the O-line. I mean, we're really we're getting tight by hanging out. We hang out a lot. Practice every day. I mean, pre-practice, we're out there early getting extra reps. We're really just putting in a lot of work, and I think putting in that work and building and just like getting after it with your boys, with the O-linemen, I think it just really builds chemistry.
You get the same hair product as Ryan.
Oh, no, tell me about it. You guys, nice head of hair on them.
Man, I'm sorry, I haven't had a haircut since fall camp.
What have you seen from the offensive line so far through camp?
I've seen large improvements, honestly. Last year we had 3 true freshmen that all, got, significant playing time, started on the line for us. And those 3 guys, Jacob, Adrian, and Gabe, I think they've all made large improvements, not only on the field, but as leaders. And, getting that game experience, being younger guys, I feel like they're going to be able to lead this group. And, I think they're going to play a lot better, just having more confidence and more experience. They've gotten stronger. And, I feel great about those guys. I feel like they're going to do a good job protecting us, and it'll help us run the football as well.
That's got to take a big load off of your shoulders.
Yes, ma'am.
Carter, what do you know about Bill Simmons?
Well, I got to meet him this summer. I know he won Super Bowl MVP, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I got to spend some time with him when he came down this summer and get some tips and pointers from him. He told me some good stories about his days back in Morehead and when he played with the Giants. So, he's a really cool guy. It was a great experience, being a football fan my whole life. I grew up, hearing him on CBS, so seeing him face to face and, playing the same position where he went to school, it's a really special feeling, to be honest.
Carter, obviously garnered a lot of respect your preseason LPFL with that quarterback, but I know last year he dealt with a lot of injuries that just kind of were nagging and even worse probably. How are you feeling coming into this season and in terms of your outlook on staying healthy?
Yes, sir. I've focused a lot this summer on, getting back to 100%, doing the things I have to do to take care of my body. I was telling the guys the other day, this is the best I've felt in years. And honestly, just being smart, doing what I can to make sure I can sustain the full season, staying healthy. That's the main goal for me this year. And, just doing the things I got to do to take care of my body and stay healthy to help our team.
Ryan, what's the ceiling for this offense? I mean, how good can you guys be and scoring in bunches?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit. I think it's just on us now to go out and execute and follow the scheme, follow the game plan, and get it done. But I really do think we have all the weapons, we have the protection now to score as much as we want. Yeah, so the sky's the limit. We just got to go out there and handle business.
How excited are you guys for that first kickoff, see somebody else on the other side of the ball?
Man, yeah, you get into week 2 of camp, coach calls it the dog days, you get sick of seeing the same guys, hitting the same guys, and it's like getting annoyed with your brother, right? Like, get out of my room kind of thing. So yeah, it's gonna be nice to just get to, hit someone else and get to go against different looks and, yeah, just get the season started, really.
Along those lines, if you had to go to Brady.
Yeah, I mean, going against them every day definitely makes you better. Going against Ricky, going against Luke Bauer over there, they're pretty solid players. I mean, it really gets you better. It gets our younger guys better. I mean, it's a pleasure getting to go against them every day.
Ryan, Mark Ledford, wide receiver, former wide receiver here. Tell us a little bit about the chemistry that the wide receiver has with your quarterback, and both of you are returning.
Yeah.
I know that's,
Yeah.
give us a
No
little bit.
doubt, man, yeah. So, I mean, me and Carter have been here since 2021. We fell in love with this place, kind of just made it a second home. So we've been hanging out since we were 18, and we're like 23 now, 22, so we're old now. So we've had a lot of time to build chemistry. We hang out all the time off the field. Whether it's just running routes after practice, going golfing, a lot of the receivers, we all hang out with all the quarterback room. I think just having chemistry and him knowing where I'm going to be or where he wants me to be pays dividends in the season, and it shows out on film. So, yeah.
Carter, what expectations do you put on yourself going into year 3 as a starter?
The expectations are high, honestly. I expect the best out of myself, and I know for us to be a good team this year, I'm going to have to lead the way, and I'm going to have to play at a high level, and my expectation is do whatever it takes to win.
Same question as the defense, what's the identity of your offense?
I would say our identity, in a sense, is just being physical and tough. We want to play a brand of football where, we can physically impose our will against people. We want to be able to sustain drives, keep our defense off the field. And, if we're able to control time of possession, that'll be big for us. I think also, to add on to that, I mean, we have a lot of playmakers and weapons. Just in general, as, being the quarterback, it makes me happy. I got a lot of guys that can get the ball that'll make me look good. So really just getting it out to them and letting them make me look good, that's going to be big for us.
One more? Good. Very good. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Zach, will you?
Right.